Mayor of Flavortown sounds like a pretty cushy gig, but outside of the kitchen,
I
Guy
like Guy
Fieri has been hit
Fieri.
with legal troubles, while his loved ones have endured serious illnesses. When Guy Fieri was just 10 years old, he endured a nearly life-threatening accident. He was riding his horse near his home one day when it suddenly bucked him off and trampled him underfoot. Fieri's heart was injured and a ligament was torn off of his liver, which required emergency surgery. At the time, his parents
My apologies if this ends up being real sad. When I initially put the video in, I thought it would just be, a couple of bad details, but it's literally 20 seconds into the video and I am already like kind of in a down mood. So my bad, guys. My bad. Hopefully there's not too many bad things that happen to the guy. He's an a-hole in real life. Who was it? I had a friend who thought one of the other guys was an asshole, and my logic is, these guys are professional cooks, right? If you are good at something and you can fucking prove it, you deserve to be an asshole. You can be an asshole about your profession, right? Like, if you can prove that you're the shit, yeah. That's the way I see it. I can't remember who it was, but the guy that does all those like kitchen nightmare shows. He's super popular with Gordon Ramsay. Yeah. A friend / ex-roommate, he used to always say that guy was an asshole, but that guy knows his shit. He's good in the kitchen, and yeah.
Parents were backpacking in Europe, so he needed a court order and a lawyer's proxy signature before he could have the surgery. Despite all this, Fieri wasn't scared off horseback riding forever. Far from it, in fact, as he's owned horses as an adult. When Fieri was a 19-year-old college student at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, he was hanging out one day at a drag boat race with a group from a neighboring campground. They'd all been drinking. One person panicked when he saw a police officer and then ended up in a car chase. The car flipped, resulting in multiple injuries and one death. Fieri was airlifted out by helicopter and awoke to find himself handcuffed to a hospital bed. It turned out that the friends all knew each other from their military service, so they collectively decided to save their buddy from prosecution for drunk driving and manslaughter by claiming that Fieri had been the driver.
Man, watching these clips reminds me that I've been watching Guy Fieri for years because he looks super young here. And not to say that he looks old right now, but he looks older than that. So these are super old clips they're using.
Ultimately, though, he avoided any prison time. He now uses this experience as a lesson for his kids to not be too trusting with people that.
The only thing I have against Guy Fieri is that he does not like eggs. How can you not like eggs? Like, what the fuck? And you're a cook. like how are you a cook and you don't like eggs? Really, Black Dragon? I fucking love eggs. I could live off of like scrambled eggs or an egg sandwich, and plus a lot of things have eggs in it. Yeah, like it's just nuts.
They don't know. In February 2011, Fieri's younger sister, Morgan Fieri, died from metastatic melanoma, a fast-spreading form of skin cancer. Her first bout with cancer actually happened when she was just 4 years old and Guy was 8. She recovered at the time, but alas, the cancer returned when she was an adult, and she died when she was only 30.
As it always
After Morgan's
does.
passing, Guy and his
Like
wife
you never
Lori helped
truly
to raise
beat
her
it.
son, Jules. Since his mom's death, Jules has gone on to graduate from California State University, San Marcos, and work in the music business. In September 2023, on what would have been Morgan's 51st birthday, Guy remembered her on Instagram by writing, "Happy 51st birthday to my little sister Morgan. Miss
It's because I'm allergic to high protein meat. Tummy kills me if I eat them. Really? Fuck, I love eggs. Yeah. With some hot sauce. Mm-mm-mm.
Namaste.
And then my most important tattoo is in memory.
You know, you are only the third person I know that doesn't like eggs. The first one was Guy Fieri. Well, I don't know him, but like the first know of. Yeah. So Guy Fieri. And then the second person was discovered a few weeks ago at work. I was talking to one of the girls and we were talking about eggs and she said she didn't like eggs. And I was like, whoa. and that became a little bit of a discussion because when I find out people don't like eggs, it's just like a fucking it's just a mind blow to me that yours makes sense though because you say you're allergic, but yeah, you are only the third person. Yeah, everyone I know loves eggs except for 3 people. Also got bit by a deer tick when I was young, so I got an allergy to most meats. Really? Damn. My one of my friends has an allergy to a lot of meats. Oh, I felt so bad one year because it was her birthday and I was like, okay, I'll do something special for her birthday. So I ordered Chinese food cuz she loves Chinese food and got her an ice cream cake. Well, the girl can't have most meats, which includes like beef and all that. And I fucking forgot because it's so easy to forget that people don't like beef or can't. Not that she didn't like it. It was that she couldn't. She was seriously allergic. And then she was also lactose intolerant, aka the ice cream cake. So let's just say I had to quickly run out to the store to get her pills because she can have it if she takes these certain pills. And then she can, she takes the pills, has, a small amount, nothing huge, and she'll be fine. Right. But yeah, I totally fucking forgot. Right? Crazy. She was the only one I knew to have both, right? It's like it's a one thing to be allergic to anything, right? But to be allergic, well, I guess it's not really like allergic, but lactose intolerant and then, most meats. Yeah. Yeah, that's how she was. And it was seriously impossible to like cook for the fucking girl because she was allergic to so many things. Yeah. Yeah. Just give her fucking Caesar salads for her birthday. Without chicken.
Memory of my sister Morgan. This is her. It's Botticelli's Venus. That's what always.
It's a nice tattoo.
Morgan was unfortunately not the only member of Guy Fieri's family who had a deadly disease, as their father, Jim Fieri, endured a bout with pancreatic cancer. But as of 2018, when he was 76 years old, he was declared cancer-free. This was just 7 years after Jim's daughter and Guy's sister Morgan passed away. He's since become an advocate for others struggling with the disease. Guy Fieri has praised both of his parents for their strength in the face of tragedy and death. As he told People magazine in 2022, when you watch your mom and dad bury their kid and still get up and go live their life, and of course do it with a ton of sorrow, I mean, we can't talk about my sister without my mom crying, but they go and do it every day. And I don't know how they can do it. I don't know that I have that kind of strength as a person. So they're great examples to follow. Guy Fieri has been hosting his signature show, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, since 2006. It's been a massive success, but it hasn't been without its struggles.
I've been watching that show as almost as long as I've been playing WoW. Holy fuck, I didn't realize it was that old. I guess, to be fair, in my vanilla days, I would say vanilla and BC days, I watched a lot of fucking TV because I, I didn't stream or do YouTube back then. So I had a lot of fucking time to watch TV, So, and, you always multitask as you're gaming and yeah. You also watch Diners? I love that show. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I like that one. I also like the grocery games is pretty good. And what are some other ones? That Kitchen Nightmares I do like. Yeah. Some of those people are complete idiots, right? Yeah.
Specifically, in 2011, it was embroiled in a serious lawsuit as one of the show's producers, David Page, sued Food Network after they tried to replace him. The network countersued with allegations that Page had created a toxic work environment by missing deadlines, turning in incomplete work, and mistreating his employees. Page tried to direct blame towards Fieri by claiming that the host would cancel shoots and not respond to correspondence in an effort to make Page look bad and get him kicked off the show. Ultimately, Food Network removed Page from his position and went forward without him. But that wasn't quite the end of the story, as Page accused Fieri of being lewd, homophobic, and anti-Semitic while working on the show. He also accused the host of making inappropriate sexual comments and constantly looking at women's breasts instead of their faces. But the claims ultimately didn't hold much water. For one thing, Fieri's sister Morgan was openly gay, and in 2015, he officiated at a group wedding for 101 gay couples. A publicist for Fieri told Eater, "Guy's reputation speaks for itself. He's a stand-up guy."
I'm just gonna say, and this is coming straight from a fucking woman, it depends how the girl's dressed, right? Like, I'm just gonna say if they're like, for me, well, I am showing a little cleavage, but if they're dressed like in a t-shirt that's, covers pretty much, like mine's covering pretty much everything, then fine. Kind of weird that they're staring at your breasts. But if you were in a serious revealing outfit, like you can't blame someone for looking. Even like everyone's gonna look because you're fucking, popping out, Like, I'm just saying. Hate to be that person, you never want to be that person that's like, you brought it on, but yeah, you brought it on. They're gonna look if you're gonna show it.
Who does right by people. He would never make the kind of comments attributed to him in the story, and anyone who knows or has even met him knows that. That Mr. Page made these sadly desperate statements says more about him than it does about Guy or anyone on the Food Network team. 2011 was unfortunately quite the eventful year for Guy Fieri. In addition to his sister dying and dealing with a lawsuit, his $200,000 Lamborghini Gallardo was stolen that same year.
I remember hearing about that one.
For routine service work. It remained missing for a year before police found it in a storage facility registered to a 19-year-old named Max Wade. They also found a motorcycle, weapons, and ammunition in the facility.
Brave kid.
Wade was also accused of using the motorcycle and weapons in an attempted drive-by shooting. Fieri ended up having to testify at a trial in 2013, while Wade ended up being sentenced to life in prison for attempted murder. On Fieri's end, this wasn't exactly the biggest tragedy compared to everything else that was going on in his life, although it was almost certainly a pain for him to have to deal with. The late Anthony Bourdain was a well-respected celebrity chef, but he also had a habit.
That was another show that I used to watch. That guy was awesome. He would go all around the world trying out different foods.
Of making fun of other people in the culinary world, including Guy Fieri. For his part, Fieri was a little taken aback by this treatment. As he told GQ in 2015, "He's never talked to my face. It's just, what are you doing? What is your instigation? You have nothing else to worry about than if I have bleached hair or not? I mean, the bad blood reportedly began back in 2008 when Bourdain compared Fieri to the Simpsons character Poochie, who was formed by a committee of TV executives.
I have to go now. My planet needs me.
The rancor continued in 2011 when Fieri's Lamborghini was stolen, and Bourdain made fun of the situation on Twitter. In 2012, Fieri was part of a group that got together to roast Bourdain for all the negative things that he'd said about them. Bourdain countered by calling Fieri's new Times Square restaurant a 500-seat deuce. Then in 2015, Bourdain went on a stand-up tour called Close to the Bone, in which he roasted Guy Fieri and others. He also admitted to making some adjustments in his life after becoming a father, but he still had this to say about his old sparring partner. "I sort of feel in a heartfelt way for Guy Fieri. I wonder about him. He's 52 years old and still rolling around in the flame outfit." In 2013, Guy Fieri was on his way home from San Francisco International Airport along with his hairdresser, Ariel Ramirez.
Ew, what was
They had both
that?
been drinking during their flight, so they used a ride service to get home. But it wasn't exactly a peaceful trip.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
TMZ obtained video that showed Ramirez standing outside the SUV and punching Fieri, who was still inside. Fieri countered by kicking, while the two of them both yelled obscenities. A rep for Fieri told TMZ, "A bunch of guys were messing around. Things got a little out of hand, but they're..."
You know, I don't know if I should say this on stream, but I'm going to say it anyway. But he kind of reminds me of, like, you know how if someone is, like, raised in the hood, you never escape the hood. You will just always, no matter how much you try, you will be in fights, you'll be getting in trouble with the cops, you'll be, you know, and I don't know, we don't, like, they haven't mentioned, I'm sure if we Google, we could find out where he's from, but, you know, like, it makes you wonder, you have gone through so much shit, Guy Fieri. Were you raised in the hood? Because only people raised in the hood continue to have bad fucking luck like that. Right? Oh, God.
all good now. When Guy Fieri tried to open up a wine tasting room near his home and vineyard in Santa Rosa, California, his neighbors weren't exactly happy about that. Indeed, more than 100 of them showed up in 2014 to a hearing about the tasting room. Their concerns included potential noise pollution, drunk driving, and trash. In response to the neighbors' concerns, the zoning board wrote up a document with 76 conditions that Fieri had to follow to open the tasting room. However, the board ultimately rejected his proposal anyway. Fieri decided against appealing the decision. So while his Hunt and Ride label started producing wine in 2015, there's no public tasting room to go along with it. In 2015, Guy Fieri decided to shut down his Johnny Garlic's restaurant chain. Alas, that led to his business partner, Steven Gruber, suing him. The first Johnny Garlic's location opened way back in 1996, but after 19 years,
That is a
Fieri
huge
decided that it
fucking
was time
burger.
to abandon ship. However, Gruber
We have this place over here. I remember if you're in the Discord channel, if you go into the food section, I made a post of it. But I had gone to this restaurant. If you're Canadian, it's called the Canadian Brew House. And they have this burger there. It's called, I think it's called the Rita or something. Is it the Rita? But I'd have to look at that Discord post. I think it's called the Rita though. And it is like this fucking high. It is huge. Yeah. Yeah. I've never had it myself because I need like one this high. Like my mouth only so big. But I remember doing a Discord post and I was like, you know, could you guys eat this? Like the only way I could is if I took a fucking hammer to it and smashed it down so it wasn't so fucking tall. I think you would have to like eat it with I wonder how he's probably just gonna pick it up and take a bite, right? Just squish it. But the Rita was taller than that. So yeah. Yeah, I remember that one though. I think it was one of those, you know how some restaurants have those deals where, you know, if you can eat this, your meal's free. I believe it was one of those deals. Yeah, I don't know if anyone ever, I imagine someone did.
didn't believe that the restaurant's days were over, so he sued Fieri.
Me, I always got the same thing. I'm a pierogi bitch. Yeah, pierogi and poutine. So it would always be either one of those. Mainly poutine, I would say, because they do good poutine there. It's like, for anyone that doesn't know what that is, it's, fries with cheese curds and, thick gravy. If you do it right, thick gravy. And at that restaurant, they add to it, so it'll be like a nacho flavored one, or the one I usually get would be the pulled pork one. And yeah, those were so good. I haven't had one in forever because it's too pricey to go out now. I think back then, I paid like $10 for that thing. I think it's like 20 now, or 18, somewhere around there. $20. Like too fucking expensive.
Fieri to keep it open. Fieri had plenty of other restaurants keeping him busy, so he didn't really need Johnny Garlic's anymore. In the lawsuit, Gruber sought to buy up Fieri's half of the business so that he could continue its operations. A year earlier, one Johnny Garlic's location had already closed without any warning, so clearly there were signs of trouble. Unfortunately, without Fieri, the restaurant started to become even more run down, and they're now all permanently closed. Guy Fieri's American Kitchen and Bar in Times Square has developed a rather unsavory reputation after a few inspections revealed insect infestations. In January 2016, for example, a variety of flies were uncovered throughout the restaurant.
Jeez.
As the report detailed, filth flies include house
He
flies,
could be on
little
Kitchen
house
Nightmare.
flies, blow flies, bottle flies, and flesh flies. Food/refuse/sewage associated flies include fruit flies, drain flies, and forward flies. According to that one section, that's a total of 8 types of flies thriving where customers surely didn't appreciate them. Nevertheless, the restaurant squeaked by with a score of...
See, this is like, I get it. You're rich. You want to have a bunch of restaurants all over the place. But me personally, if I can't be there to monitor the situation, I don't want my face on it. Like that. Yeah. It's like now everyone's going to think that every single restaurant you've ever had is shit. Because, they see this one situation and they'll think that about all of it. Yeah. And that's why I don't like anyone running my shit, Yeah. Hence why we haven't gotten a video editor yet.
Of B on the inspection. A year earlier, inspectors had found roaches.
I buried those cockroaches!
American Kitchen and Bar's pest issues proved to be a bad omen for what was to come. By the
love
end of
that guy.
2017, the Times Square location was closed. However, as of 2023, there are still locations open in the US and another 5 internationally. So while we're sure that Fieri doesn't appreciate hearing about all the bugs running around his restaurants, this story certainly could have been a lot worse. Guy Fieri is one of the biggest brand names in the restaurant business. In total, he has 175 delivery-only and 80 full restaurant locations worldwide. One of the newest spots is a place called Downtown Flavortown in the town of Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. In addition to the food and drinks, it also boasts an arcade and bowling lanes. But alas, it's not all fun and games. In 2022, just a few months after opening, Downtown Flavortown was hit with a lawsuit for breaking the Fair Labor Standards Act. The owners allegedly asked employees who worked for tips to also perform non-tipped work. This included cleaning and upkeep tasks, as well as preparing food for customers. Since they weren't getting tips for these time-consuming duties, the employees claimed that they should be paid at least minimum wage for carrying them out. The lawsuit sought to get these employees back pay for all the non-tipped work they've...
Say what? You mean to tell me they weren't making at least a minimum wage? Like, what the fuck?
already performed. The suit also sought to get the owners to change the policies about their pay and responsibilities. Breaking the law is never a great look, and the spotlight tends to be bright when someone as famous as Fieri is involved.
Crazy. I'm just gonna say, okay, it's paused. I am just gonna say that was one hell of a fucking video. I was expecting there to be like two bad things that happened to him, you know? Like I did not think that there was so much shit that wow. Wow, can't wait to see the next video, part 2 of the tragic story of Guy Fieri.